Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakorash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And I wanted to do a response. As you can see, this comment here left by, I left a comment here on this video done by the elder Apostle Tahar. And this response, it really puzzled me that in 2023, with all of the information that's out, all right, you have Israelites or people who are watching these videos who are willingly ignorant. All right, now this video was done by the elder Apostle Tahar, GMS Declaring the End. The title of the video is How Do We Know When the Sabbath Comes In? And he's responding to a video done by the IUIC, okay? Because ultimately the scriptures say, let's get it real quick. Colossians 2:16, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, which those are synonymous with holy days. You would eat, all right, particular meats, and you would have particular drinks that are synonymous with the holy day, okay? So Christians use this to say you can't judge someone based on them eating shrimp, lobster, crab, and all that. That's not what this is talking about. All right, you have to, again, go into the history of what was happening amongst these churches with the circumcision, those who were raised in the customs, and the uncircumcised Gentiles who came in and who were justified by faith. Okay, and how there was always friction, you know, in these churches. And Paul is pretty much laying down, you know, some groundwork, okay? But he pretty much says here, okay, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day, or for the new moon, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. So I'll say this, you know, if you're sincerely, you sincerely believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and you follow Friday sundown to Saturday sundown Sabbath, okay, that's between you and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? Now, the truth of the matter is out here, though, all right? And then you have individuals who do videos constantly coming at those who believe what the scriptures say of a new moon dictating the Sabbath. Okay, because before there was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as Apostle Tahar always said, when Moses and the Israelites were in leaving out of Egypt and in the wilderness, all right, they didn't go to 7-Eleven and get a calendar to dictate, okay, how to keep the Sabbath, okay? It was predicated upon the new moon, okay? Point blank period, all right? We didn't have a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, those are not even Hebrew words. Those words did not exist at the time of Adam or Moses, okay? But as I left this comment, okay, so ultimately the truth is out there on how to keep the Sabbath, and we break it down according to the scriptures, all right? But that's between you and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. As for us in our house, we're going to do it this way, all right? I'll put that out there. But I wanted to... as Apostle Tahar is doing this video, as a matter of fact, let's just first listen to this point made by this individual at IUIC.
He rested on the seventh day. So God, you understand what I'm saying? So the first high holy day was what? Was the Sabbath. Right. The first high holy day was the Sabbath. Here we are today, you denying the Sabbath. You want to make the Sabbath what you want it to be. Now, go to, what you got?
Read Acts 15, 20, and 21.
Read Acts 15, 20, 21, and then get Isaiah 56 and 2 after that. So obviously, Christ knew what day to keep the Sabbath. It was a specific day. It wasn't a day that he just made up. It's a custom of ours to keep the Sabbath day holy. You understand? If you look at your calendar today, I know you don't agree that it's the same calendar. It's the same Gregorian calendar. You can look it up yourself.
So you heard him say, and what we're not going to do is let you lie on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Yahweh Shai didn't follow no Gregorian calendar. And I've seen you all right, as you break down the resurrection, use a Gregorian calendar to say Yahweh Shai was buried on a Wednesday and all of this crap, right? But how about the Gregorian calendar was not around at the time Yahweh Shai was on the scene? How about the Romans, who were pagans, used a Julian calendar at the time Yahweh Shai was on the scene, which is based upon an 8-day week, and the days were numbered by letters. Okay, this is why it's very important to study to show yourself approved. All right, Yahweh Shai did not follow a Gregorian calendar. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday did not exist. Those names are pagan Roman deities, all right, that ultimately, as you have a brother who left this comment here, the elder brother Monaghan, the day, GMS Spiritual Army 144, the day on which you worship, dictated by which calendar you use, reveals who you are worshiping. All right, and that's a quote, I believe, comes from this video, in which I'll pull that video up as well. Okay, but I left this comment, listening to these individuals. I just left this comment because that's why I'm doing this video. I had to pull over and do this video. Okay, I just left this a quick, just something that we all who are teachers should know this, right? The English Saturday originates from the Roman god Saturn. Now, where are we currently? We're in Babylon the Great. Now, we always go into these videos and we show you how we are in a revival of Rome, right? So a lot of the customs that are practiced by the powers that be stem from the ancient, all right, pagan Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire, right? So I just, put this comment casually. They're saying Yahweh Shai, all right, worship the Sunday, a Friday sundown to Saturday sundown Sabbath. But my thing is those names didn't even exist when he was around. The Romans that were ruling at that time didn't even worship a Sunday through Saturday weekly, that wasn't even around. And we're going to show you through simple research, right? So I put the English Saturday originates from the Roman god Saturn and can be recognized from Latin, where the day is called Dies Saturni, right? And Ken Rencher, as you can see here, which I'm sure is a grown-ass man. As a matter of fact, let's just look at his page. Maybe he puts up videos. All right, he joined 11 months ago, so most likely he's a newer individual, and most likely he follows the IUIC, all right? He joined May 2022, okay? No videos, whatever, okay? I put that up here, and this individual comes and says, wrong, where's your source? So it got me to thinking, do these individuals believe that the creation story in Genesis established a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday week? Right? Do they really believe that? Now, all we're going to do, he said, where's your source? Now I'm going to read my reply. I said, Ken, you can't be serious. Bro, there was no Gregorian calendar until 1532. It was put in place by Pope Gregory, who was a pagan. Now, this is the thing. Yahweh Shai was perfect in the law of Moses, right? Would Yahweh Shai have followed, all right, a pagan Roman calendar, or would he have followed the calendar that his fathers established based upon the law of Moses, which we showed you in the book of Exodus, how to track the months and years and all of that. Okay, again, we had day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Okay, day 1 was a Sabbath. You would have the 6 working days, which would bring you into the Sabbath again for that month until the new moon came. That would be the Sabbath for that month. We've been through it. We've broken this down. All right. And some individuals may say, well, it's easier for me to just do Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. You know, I ain't getting into all of that. Hey, that's on you. That's between you and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Can I say you're going to be destroyed? That's between you and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But what I can say is that these dudes are just willingly making this up. Yahweh Shai did not worship the Sabbath based upon a Gregorian calendar. It wasn't around. As a matter of fact, let me just keep reading this. Ken, you can't be serious. Bro, there was no Gregorian calendar until 1532. It was put in place by Pope Gregory, who was a pagan. All of the days of the week are named after pagan gods. Even the days of the months, okay, are named after pagan gods and particular emperors who ruled in that Western Roman Empire. A lot of the days of the month, all right, you know, August, you know, Augustus, Caesar, a lot of the Caesars were worshipped as gods as well and linked to particular planets. But all we're going to do is look it up. Okay, so the days in the week are named after Roman deities and gods. Okay, the days in the months are named after what? Roman deities and gods and emperors who were linked to gods. You are in Rome all over again, literally. When we say that, we're not just saying it to say it. Yahweh Shai did not follow the Julian calendar. So when you all give the example and say Yahweh Shai followed the Gregorian calendar, you all are putting it out there as if the Gregorian calendar, which is based upon a 7-day week, was around when he was there in Rome, when Rome was ruling. Oh my goodness. So we'll come back to this. Let's just look up. Let's just look it up right here. I'm going to just do it like this. What calendar was in place when Jesus Christ walked the earth by the Romans? The Julian calendar is the one that was introduced in the year 46 BC by Julius Caesar to all the Roman Empire, and it is the calendar that was used during the life, all right, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach at the time of the early church. Now the question is, was the Julian calendar an 8-day calendar or a 7-day calendar? It was an 8-day calendar. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's see if we can find, let's just look it up this way. Julian calendar, 8-day week. See if we can look that up. All right. Okay, the ancient Etruscans, which were the Japhetic people who really, all right, were the original inhabitants of Rome, you know, Greek before that, all of that, okay, which Esau took over those lands. Okay, it says the ancient Etruscans developed the 8-day market week known as the Nudium, whatever, around the 8th or 7th century. This was passed on to the Romans no later than the 6th century BC. As Rome expanded, it encountered a 7-day week, all right, and for a time attempted to introduce both. So again, the Julian calendar is a solar calendar of 365 days. Every year with an additional leap year in the 4th year, the Julian calendar is still used in certain parts, yada, yada, yada. Okay, Rome's 8-day week. See, and you have that 365-day thing here in America again. Okay, but again, the Julian calendar was not 7 days. It was 8 days. Okay? See if we can get an example of the Julian calendar. See if we can go here. Because as Esau takes over these particular societies, he takes their customs. Okay? Let's see if we can find one here. Okay, so I have this site here. Okay, which I'll open it in here. It says 8 days a week, Julian calendar history. Assumptions are dangerous even when they are made in the realm of religion. If a theological belief is based upon faulty assumption, the religious practice will be in error. The most common assumptions in Christendom are that Saturday is the scriptural Sabbath and Sunday is the day on which they say Yeshua resurrected. These beliefs are built upon another assumption that the modern week has cycled continuously without interruption ever since creation, and that's crazy. Okay? The facts of the Julian calendar, however, prove these assumptions to be false. The Julian calendar was introduced in 45 BC, like the calendar of the Roman Republic before it, Romulus and Remus, the Etruscans. We just went into that. All right, the Japhetic people, which Esau conquered those people, took their customs as they do with everybody else. Okay, it says, like the calendar of the Roman Republic before it, the early Julian calendar had an 8-day week. Days of the week in the Republican and early Julian calendars were assigned letters. See, I said that earlier, right? A through H. All early Julian calendars still exist, or are still in existence from 63 BC to AD 37, and it gives you the examples. As the Roman Empire expanded, it came in contact with Mithraism, which Mithra is an idol, a different god, which quickly became a popular religious cult in Rome. Mithraism brought a 7-day week with days named after planetary gods. Okay? It says, yada, yada, yada. And that's what, you can look this up on your own, because what I'm going to do here now, okay, yeah, there's an example. All right. Anyway, what we're going to do now is just look up what this individual asked. We'll go back to this, but let's just look up what he asked. All right. Meaning of the days of the week and their origin. Okay, the days were named after planets of Hellenistic, all right, which that was the Greeks, right? Because it was the Greco-Roman Empire, which they had similar, beliefs and ideologies. They differed in some things. It says, the days were named after planets of Hellenistic astrology in order: the sun, the moon, Mars, Hermes, Jupiter, Aphrodite, and Saturn. The 7-day week spread throughout the Roman Empire in late antiquity. All right, that's later on. Okay, but at the time of Yahweh Shai, they specifically, the Romans they used an 8-day Julian calendar. Which, who's Julian? Julian Caesar. All right, not Julius Caesar. Okay. See if we can get a site that just goes into it. Whatever that shit mean, them goddamn cookies. Okay. Sundagr, Sunday, the day of the sun, a goddess of Norse mythology. Okay. Monday is related to the moon, which they worship the moon. A lot of these heathen worship the moon. That goes back to the ancient Sabines. All right. The Latin name is moon from Luna. The French Monday is called Lundi. Yada, yada, yada. In Norse mythology, which a lot of the mythology of the Norse, all right, is still practiced unto this day. All right. A distinction is made between the two different meanings. Let me see if I can find a better one. Give me 1 second here. Here's a better one. Days of the week in English, meanings and origins. Let's see here. Let's just get to the point. And you could look this up on your own, because the question was, what's my source? I'm like, well, damn, I've been, teaching close to 16 years. I mean, we've been studying this, man. Anyway, Monday, the origin of the first day of the week. Monday is related to the moon. This was the day of the moon, is named after the Nordic, all right, mythical person Mani. All right, Tuesday, origin. Mars is the god of war, also known as the Nordic god Tyr. He is primarily known as the god of justice and war, yada, yada, yada. Wednesday, named after the Roman god Mercury. All right. Odin is the most prominent god in traditional Norse mythology. All right. He is practically associated with war, luck, power, yada, yada, yada. Thursday is originated from the Nordic god Thor. Pretty sure you know about that. And a lot of these particular, the Avengers and all of these things, they're all tied to idol worship. Okay? Everything here, again, this is the mother of all harlots. So everything that's presented to you here, all right, has its origin in some form of Greco-Roman garbage or paganism. Because really it all goes back to these various different gods of Sumeria, all right, and Babylon, all right, Egypt, all right, which the Greeks and the Romans basically came in and borrowed all of the same gods and regurgitated it in their own different way. Okay? Okay? So Thor, we always hear about Thor. Thor is reminiscent of Jupiter, as they both deal with lightning and thunder. He controlled the weather, yada, yada, yada. Friday is the goddess Freya, gave the name to Friday, ruled the planet Venus, who was the goddess of love. She was perceived as the goddess of marriage, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Saturday, the origin of this name is more inexplicable than others in the old Norse days, which that goes back, to Finland and all of that, which a lot of those were Jakes too, the Vikings. Okay, but where did they get their ideologies from? Okay, these very same sources, man. And it has nothing to do with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is the point we're making here. So I'm doing this video because I'm thinking like, damn, maybe Jake really believes that Moses, or even before that, Adam and the sons of God were literally looking at a calendar that said Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when these things didn't even exist. Go in the Bible and show me these things. It's not there. You always see the 15th day, the first day, the 7th day, the 8th day, the 10th day, right? Or are we just making this up? Anyway, Sunday is named, did we finish Saturday? All right. So you can translate the Nordic word Saturday into the day of hot water, bathing. Although in Latin, this day was named after Saturn. Okay, what did the Romans speak? Not the Greeks. The Romans spoke Latin. It says, although in Latin this day was named after Saturn, which we can recognize as the English words for Saturday. Sunday, all right, is named after the Norse god Sol, which means sun. All right. And brothers who play those games, who are into those particular certain video games, a lot of these games go into that Nordic, that Norse mythology, okay, which is still practiced today, okay, but it's all hand in hand with Greco-Roman idols. Again, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his only begotten son. When Yahushua was on the earth, he was perfect in the law of Moses. Had he bowed to any of these days and deities, he would have what? He wouldn't have been perfect in the law. Okay? I don't understand why you're trying to force a Gregorian calendar, which, let's just look that up. All right? And you can look more into this on your own. But let's look up, when was the Gregorian calendar? See if we can look that up. When was the Gregorian calendar created? 1582. I think I said 1532. So the Gregorian calendar was instituted by Pope Gregory, all right, the 8th. I believe that's the 8th, or I'm not good with Roman numerals. Some days I'm good with them, some days I'm not. But let's look it up to make sure. Either it's 13. Let's see here. Let's see. Roman numeral. Okay. Anyway, I believe it's 8. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. All right, I'm not the best with those numbers. All right. It says the Gregorian calendar was instituted by Pope Gregory, I believe the 8th, in 1582, and quickly adopted much by much of Catholic, but not Protestant in Europe. Why did we change from a Julian to Gregorian? The Gregorian calendar is also known as the Western Christian calendar. So these dudes are nothing but a bunch of Christians. They're pushing Christianity upon you. What was Christianity, okay, and Constantine and all of that based upon? All right, idols. Okay, ancient Babylonian and Egyptian idols. All right. So when a lot of these, Egyptology cats, okay, these Kemetic cats say that Christianity is based upon, a lot of the ancient Egyptian customs and stuff, yeah, they're right. But see, the Bible condemns all of that stuff. The Bible condemns worshiping the stars, the sun, the moon, and all of those various different things. Okay, the Gregorian calendar, also known as the Western Christian calendar, is the most widely used calendar in the world today. Its predecessor, the Julian calendar, was replaced because it did not correctly reflect the actual time it takes the Earth to circle, yada, yada, yada. And you could just look these things up. Okay? So, going back to this video, what in the hell is this dude talking about? All I did was put basic knowledge on the English term Saturday and its origin. Because also you can look up the days of the month, the names of the origin of the days of the month. See if we can look that up. Okay? Origin, the names of days in a month. Origin of the names of the months. How did the months get their name? It's just basic research. Already you see Roman, Latin, The how our calendar came to be. The ancient Roman calendar today, we follow the Gregorian calendar, but it's based on ancient Roman calendar. So wait, why are IUIC so gung-ho to force this on Yahushai? So right now, we're here in Babylon the Great, and to the best of our ability, we're following the new moon and, doing things to the best of our ability. It's not going to be perfect. We understand that. But why would you say Yahushai followed, Yahushai was literally looking for Friday sundown to Saturday sundown and Sunday and all of these various different things, when it's just not true? That's the point of these videos, because y'all are lying on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai now. Okay? It says, believed to be invented by Romulus, who first served as king of Rome around 753 BC, which we believe that was a Etruscan, which we believe that was a Japhetic. All right? Those were the Japhetic people. And then eventually Esau got up, in there. Let's see here. Let's see if it just goes into the names. January was named for the Roman god Janus, protector of the gates and the doorways. And I'm doing this so you brothers and sisters who are newer, because I looked at that comment. I was like, that dude really left that comment boldly. So I'm like, well, maybe the people, Jake needs to know this, right? That's the only reason I'm doing this. Janus is depicted with 2 faces, yada, yada, yada. You can look these things up. February, comes from February, to cleanse. The Roman calendar month was Februarius, named for Februalia, the festival of purification and atonement that took place during this period. Now, did we, anyway, March, named after the Roman god of Mars, god of war. Okay, this was the time of the year to resume military campaigns that had been interrupted by the winter. All right, May, named after the Romans god Maya, who oversaw the growth of plants. Doesn't this sound like the Egyptians? Didn't they worship gods like this? Okay, June, the Roman goddess Juno, all right, patroness of marriage and the well-being of women. July was named after the Roman dictator Julius Caesar. Okay, after his death in 46 BC, Julius Caesar made one of his greatest contributions to history with the help of Sosigenes. He developed the Julian calendar, all right, the precursor to the Gregorian calendar we use today. Okay, see? So that, and he's in the Bible. Okay, Julius Caesar is in the Bible. Let's look it up. Let's see here. I believe he is, yeah. Let's see here. No, is it Augustus? One of those Caesars is in the Bible. Caesar Augustus is mentioned. Let's see here, because I believe Augustus and Julius is the same person. Okay, he reigned for 45 years and was ruling at the time of Yahushua birth. The Bible references Caesar Augustus is mentioned because Caesar Augustus is Julian, I believe. Mentioned in the Gospel of Luke 2:1. Descendants: Tiberius, Julius Caesar, later Emperor Nero, yada yada yada. Okay. Now I believe. Let's see, Julius and Caesar. Is Julius and Caesar Augustus the same person? A lot of this history. You know, his a great uncle. Let's see. His great uncle was Julius Caesar. But let's go to Luke 2:1 real quick. And a lot of this history, I got to go back over. All right, so this is good. But let's get Luke 2:1. Let's see here. It says Luke 2:1, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus, all right, that all the world should be taxed. Okay? Yeah, they're not the same. I'm tripping. But anyway, hey, slip with the tongue, not with the heart. Okay? Augustus, all right, venerable, the first Roman emperor, all right, title conferred upon Roman emperors, all right. I have to look into it. But we know that ultimately, going back here, these different gods and these different emperors were worshipped as gods and tied to idols, man. Okay, let's read this again. July, named in honor of Roman dictator Julius Caesar after his death. Okay, yeah, August was named after Augustus. I'm tripping. Yeah, after his death, yada, yada, yada. August, named in honor of the first Roman emperor. All right, grandnephew of Julius Caesar. There you go. Augustus Caesar. August, or Augustus, the first Roman emperor, comes from the Latin word Augustus, meaning venerable, noble, majestic. And they were worshipped as gods. September comes from the Latin word septem, meaning seven. All right, because it is the 7th month of the Roman calendar. October, all right, in the ancient Roman calendar, October was the name of the 8th month, is the name that comes from the Latin 8, yada, yada, yada. November comes from 9 because it has been the 9th month of the early Roman calendar. So everything's been thrown off by what these devils have put into play. December from the Latin word decem, 10, because this had been the 10th month in the early Roman calendar. Okay, so again, you can look this up on your own. I'm doing this because what in the hell are these dudes talking about? They're willingly ignorant. And they're introducing a system that our forefathers never followed, man. As a matter of fact, let's get the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter. In Salaki, I just pulled over and did this, so it's kind of off the top of the head, a little sloppy, right? But they're even more sloppy. I don't get it. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, the 13th chapter, in the first verse, it says, "Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High, who cannot of the good things that are seen know him that is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind or swift air or the circle of the stars." Oh, the stars are circle. All right. Or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be gods, which govern the world. See? And this is speaking of those Canaanites, which ultimately it all goes back to Sumeria, Babylon, which the Greeks and the Romans adopted all of that madness. And that's what this world and before you was rooted in. With those with whose beauty, if they begin, with whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty hath created them. Okay? But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them. And by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably the maker of them is seen. Okay? So you can keep reading that, but this is the pagan practices. Okay? Let's get that in the scriptures. I believe it's in the book of Deuteronomy. Okay? We're not supposed to worship the stars and the moon and stuff like that. Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. I haven't been over this in a minute. Boom. Deuteronomy 4:19. You're not supposed to worship like the heathen worship. Okay? Warning against idolatry. Okay? Let's go to the point. It says, "Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahweh thy God have divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven." All right? Remember that Yahweh rescued you from the iron smelting furnace of Egypt in order to make you his very own people. And he gave you a way to have a calendar. Okay? That's in the book of Exodus, the 12th chapter. I don't understand this. Okay? "And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year. Speak unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day." Why didn't it say Tuesday, Wednesday? All right, because the 10th day is when you would start getting you would get the lamb and start preparing it for the Passover. And then on the 14th day, okay, you would have the start at evening, you would have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay? 7 days shall you do that. I mean, I don't get what these dudes are talking about. "In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at evening, ye shall eat of of unleavened bread." I mean, what are we saying that's crazy? I don't understand. Willingly, let's get that, willingly ignorant. Willingly ignorant. All right? And this is speaking of people who are, coming up against the the Lord's return, but for this they are willingly ignorant. Y'all are willingly ignorant, man. Goodness gracious. Let me look up valiant for the truth. And this is a big deal. I'm like, damn, okay. Jeremiah 9 and 3, and they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith Yahweh. Again, we'll end it off. Let's go back to this video. Tripping. So what I'm gonna do is just end it off by playing this video I loaded a while ago. I found it. Another brother posted it. Give me 1 second. Let me get.
Assumptions are dangerous, especially when they are made in the realm of religion. If a theological belief is based upon a faulty assumption, the religious practice will be in error. The most common assumptions in Christendom are that Saturday is the scriptural Sabbath and Sunday is the day on which Yahushua was resurrected. These beliefs are built upon another assumption, that the modern week has cycled continuously and without interruption ever since creation. The facts of the Julian calendar, however, prove these assumptions false. The Julian calendar was established in 45 BC. Like the calendar of the Roman Republic before it, the early Julian calendar had an 8-day week. Days of the week on the Republican and early Julian calendars were assigned letters, A through H. All early Julian calendars, Fasti, still in existence, date from 63 BC to AD 37. An 8-day week is clearly discernible on these stone fragments. It is not to be doubted that the diffusion of the Iranian-Persian mysteries has had a considerable part in the general adoption by the pagans of the week with the Sunday as a holy day. The names which we employ unawares for the other 6 days came into use at the same time that Mithraism gained its followers in the provinces in the West. And one is not rash in establishing a relation of coincidence between its triumph and that concomitant phenomenon. As the Roman Empire expanded, it came into contact with Mithraism, which quickly became a popular religious cult in Rome. Mithraism brought a 7-day week with days named after planetary gods. Sunday cannot be the day on which Yahushua arose from the dead, because Sunday did not exist in the 8-day Julian week of his day. Furthermore, Saturday cannot be the true scriptural Sabbath because the 7-day planetary week originally began on Saturn's day. The baths of Titus in Rome were built AD 79 to 81. A stick calendar was found there which clearly shows Saturn, god of agriculture, as god of the first day of the week. Dies Solis, or sun's day, can be seen as the second day of the week. Luna, the moon goddess wearing the crescent moon as a diadem, is the third day of the week. The week ends on Venus Day, Dies Veneris, which corresponds to modern Friday, was the 7th day of the week. The pagan planetary week, like the Julian calendar that adopted it, is irreparably pagan. Historical facts reveal that neither the scriptural Sabbath nor the scriptural first day can be found using the modern calendar. If it is important to worship on a specific day, then it is also important to use the correct scriptural calendar to count to that day. The lunisolar calendar of creation using both sun and moon, is the only means to establish the true seventh-day Sabbath and the correct day of Christ's resurrection. He appointed the moon for seasons. Seasons, Moedim, the worshiping assemblies of Yahuwah's people. There were two calendars available to the Israelites of Yahushua's day. One, the solar Julian calendar with its 8-day week. Two, the lunisolar Hebrew calendar with a 7-day week and a weekly cycle that restarted with each new moon. Which calendar do you think the Israelites and Yahushua used? The day on which you worship, dictated by which calendar you use, reveals who you are worshiping.
So you see that? So like the scriptures say, from new moon to new moon. Let's get that real quick, then we'll get out of here. And again, Salakia, I just pulled over, man. The book of Isaiah 66 and 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship me. So what they're teaching you is that, okay, the new moon, which, you know, is kind of, it's weird. I don't understand. But the new moon, Chadash, is the new month. Moon and month are synonymous. It's the first day of the month. So how else would the weekly Sabbath be established if the new moon is day one? That I never understood that. I've been trying to get this answer. I've never been clear on it, you know. But again, this is just done to bring out the truth of the matter. You know, y'all do what the hell y'all want to do. All right. Hopefully y'all are edified. Hopefully y'all are edified. On to the next, man. Shalom.